Welcome to the beautiful world of aquascaping, to the Green Aqua Gallery in Budapest. My name is Balázs Farkas, and today we're going to speak about this minimalistic Iwagumi aquarium that I have here right next to me.
Come on! Yeah! Here we go! Yeah!
We were wondering with my business partner Victor whether this aquarium has some kind of a curse on it, because this is the third time we're trying to make this recording for you. And this aquarium had a major leak previously, and we had to redo the whole thing. So actually what you see behind me is already a second version of an aquarium that we built a little bit more than 3 months ago. Let me start from the beginning. This aquarium was built on April 17th. Right after the ceremony, in a sunny Tuesday morning, we came into the gallery and we saw that there's a little pool of water below this aquarium, and we were wondering what the hell that is. And it turns out that the glue on the left side of the tank had gotten loose, and the water was started to leak out of it. Thinking back to the events that happened to this aquarium, I would say that it's normal that this happened. We introduced at least 100 kilos of dragonstone in this aquarium during the initial setup. We introduced 5 bags of 9-liter Amazonia in it. We introduced an additional 1 bag of 9-liter Amazonia powder in this aquarium. So you would imagine how much weight that would, be when we were moving and holding the aquarium, 4 of us, with suction cups, and moving it from one cabinet to another. The reason we had to change the cabinet is that all the tops of all aquariums in the gallery are on the same level, and we originally had a smaller cabinet underneath, and I was building the aquarium with the smaller cabinet and the raising platform initially, and then we had to change it to this cabinet here. And obviously we had to move the whole scape by sucking out the water, leaving only a couple of centimeters on the bottom, and then moving the whole thing to the new cabinet and moving the new cabinet in place. Obviously this was too much for the glue. When we came in and we observed this leak, we were thinking of what to do next. Should we take it apart and change the glass, obviously, and build a new scape? And then this crazy idea came into my mind. I should just take it apart piece by piece and then reassemble it again. Same scape, same rocks, same layout. So this is basically what I did. I took all the rocks out, I peeled off all the plants from it, I put in new substrate, obviously, and then put the rocks in, fill some more substrate in, and basically if you're looking at the 2 versions of the aquarium before the leaking, this image, and after the leaking, this image. And if you compare these, you will see that obviously there are small differences, but mainly the scape and the whole look of the tank is the same. But this is not the same tank it used to be when I built it first. I said that I wanted to do something very simple here, which means that I was using a lot of rocks, trying to elevate the substrate from the left side to the right side. And also I was trying to use just a few plants here. Basically you have 3 types of plants. You have the main plant, the Monte Carlo. You have 2 types of mosses, the Ricardia moss, which were glued on the rocks, and you have the Physidens fontanus moss, which is also glued in the shadow there. I wanted to use them in a separate ways. One of them being in the light, the other one being in the shadow. And we were using the cryptocoryne, 2 types of cryptocoryne plants, the Venti compact and Parva. The difference between those 2 is that the Venti compact doesn't have long stems, the other one does. Monte Carlo is an easy plant. It has longer roots than Hemianthus calicicoides, the HC, Cuba. And for those of you who want quick results and would like to have an aquarium which is ready in basically 2 or 3 weeks, I would definitely recommend for you guys to use this Monte Carlo plant, because if you're using enough of them, then in a little less than a month you would have an aquarium that is completely ready, up and running, easy to maintain, very clean to the eye. I really like this style, as I told you before. What you see behind me here is the version of the tank that was already trimmed, because right after the first video recording that we made also trimming, and that's when we realized after it that the sound is not pretty good, so I had to redo it. So right now, guys, check out the trimming. So I'm going to start the trimming now, and I'll do that by opening both sides of this cabinet manufactured by Green Aqua, and taking out my very special tool set. It's all ADA tools, I love them. And I will take the scissors. I need two types of scissors. I need the curved scissors and the S type. And I will put it here. And I will stop the filter by turning the lever off, unplugging the CO2, and I will switch everything off with the main plug. And I have a towel here that I will just hang on my side, and take the scissors and start trimming. I'll try to make it nice and even with subtle movement of my hand. You don't need to push the scissors inwards too hard. Just trim slowly, going one by one to the left and right, and make sure you don't damage the other plants while you're trimming the foreground, the Monte Carlo. And I'm done with the central piece really quickly. Make sure you don't trim it too short though, because if you're trimming too much, then the roots and the bottom part of the plant will not look too good. So make sure you're trimming only the safe length. This tank was trimmed about once every month or so it doesn't need so much maintenance. It doesn't need regular trimming.
Come on!
Okay, so I took out all the leaves from the top and from the aquarium itself, and I'm going to start water change now.
Yeah! 1, 2, 3, 4! Come on! Let's go!
So a little bit less than 1 hour, we are ready with the trimming and the water change. And I'm going to switch off the water inflow now, take out the hose, and I will measure the TDS of the water. We are using reverse osmosis water, so at this moment the TDS is 31, which is very soft. So I'm going to add the Green Aqua GH+, increasing the hardness of the water. I know that I need about 4, 5, or 6 of these spoons for this size. And I'm going to start the filter, and I'm going to switch on the CO2, and I'm going to measure the TDS again in a couple of minutes and adjust the TDS, the general hardness level, with the GH+ later. So basically we are ready with the trimming. I hope you like what you see. We will show you a couple of pictures of this later when it clears out. Obviously you need a couple of days in order for the plants to recover, and there are great ADA product, the Green Gain, that you can use to help plants recover from a trimming session.
Alright.
Now that we talked a little about the layout and about the maintenance, I would like to introduce you to what kind of technology we used in this aquarium. We are using the same ADA solar RGB LED lights above it, which are increasing the color of the fish and the color of the hardscape in it. It's a beautiful light. I would highly recommend for everybody who wants to have a highlight, really good looking tank at home or in the office. As far as the filtration goes, it has an Eheim 2080 filter with Seachem media in it, filter media in it, and the CO2 system is a pressurized system with ADA Beetle 50 diffuser and beetle counter, also ADA, and ADA drop tracker in it. The filter in and outflows, I forgot to tell you, they are also ADA glass in and outflows, and using this technology enables us to have as little visual obstruction in the tank as possible. Obviously, as with other tanks, we are using TwinStar, and we are using the Eheim surface skimmer. The livestock in this tank, it was a very fortunate selection, I think, because the Danio choprai, the glow light Danio, is a beautiful fish that compensates the color of these dragon stones quite well. And I really like the fact that these fish are swimming along the rocks most of the time, not right now, but most of the time, and it looks, from the distance, it looks like the rocks would be flowing. And I really like this idea of flowing rocks inside the tank, because from the distance you cannot really tell which one is rock and which one is fish. And also, I forgot to tell you that we have some little fish and shrimp that are helping us with with cleaning the algae. We have Cleton snails. We have two types of snails, the bigger Cleton snail and the smaller one that helps us with the black brush algae. And we have a mano shrimp, and we have Otocinclus affinis, obviously. And this little crew is also helping clean the tank. This was much needed after we started cycling the new tank with the new substrate after rescaping it after the leak. And these guys have cleaned the tank up from the brown algae in about I would say a week or so. It didn't look good before, obviously. It had ammonia spikes because of the new substrate, even though the filter media was old and cycled, and it had a lot of bacteria in it. For those of you who do not know, and I always have to tell that, filter media is very important because you need to get rid of the ammonia in the tank. If you do not have sufficient and effective filter media, you will have algae. Because for algae, you need light and you need ammonia, and you need to decompose ammonia into nitrates. I will always say that. Anyways, I hope the curse is over, and from now on we're gonna have a nice little scape. And because what I had in my mind when I was first trying to build it is to have a long-term scape that is really easy to maintain. I really like minimalistic style. And I really like aquariums that have slow-growing plants that do not need a lot of maintenance, and they represent a really clean look. So I hope that you like what you see, and please subscribe to the Green Aqua YouTube channel down there if you like it, because we're gonna keep you posted with all kinds of tutorials, inspiration, and all kind of aquarium-related videos. And if you have any questions, just type them in right there below us in the chat, because we're really keen to help you and answer all the questions you have about this tank. I forgot to tell you the size. It's a 120p, 100 by 45 by 45, 240 liters. Okay? Any other questions? Post them. Until next time. Goodbye.
Come on!